As Michigan sees increased employment throughout the state, there are still challenges to be overcome. What exactly are those challenges and how do we overcome them? Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Laurel Hess and this is Comcast Newsmakers. Joining me now is the Executive Director of the Workforce Intelligence Network, Lisa Katz. Thank you so much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Your organization working hard, I would imagine, on trying to figure out where exactly we are with unemployment here in Michigan and how do we improve the situation?
That's exactly right. And so one of the things that the Workforce Intelligence Network does is it looks at what is happening with all of the trends with employment and the economy in Southeast Michigan. And then we organize all of the different Michigan Works agencies, which are workforce development partners in the region, community colleges, universities, all these other partners to say, okay, how do we respond to these trends that we're seeing happen in the economy? If there's growth that's happening, how can we make sure the workers are lined up and getting the education and training that they need for that growth?
And as my understanding is that the unemployment rate is improving here in Michigan. There are more jobs, and there have been consecutively over the past several months, but it's still terrible out there.
Well, it's definitely an improvement over what we've seen in past years, and there's definitely room for lots more improvements. So we know that during the recession, we had a peak unemployment rate of around 16% here in Southeast Michigan. We look at 9 counties, including the cities of Flint and cities of Detroit. Those aren't counties, but we look at those areas. And we know that over time, that unemployment rate has fallen to around 9 to 10%. That's good news, but it's certainly not at the level that we were at prior to this big recession that hit us. And the other kicker is that part of the reason our unemployment rate is improving the way it has been is because we've lost over 200,000 people in our labor force. And that's a problem. It's a lot of talent that's gone to other places, or maybe they're doing other things now, that we really need to invigorate the growth. And there is growth that's happening in our economy.
Well, I do hear you hear on the news that there are a need for certain types of workers, and Michigan, while we have this high unemployment rate, we don't have the workers to fill those jobs.
That's right. In 2012, we had over 300,000 new job postings. So we can actually look at all the job postings that employers are putting out online in Southeast Michigan. And what we were seeing is growth in areas like healthcare, information technology, advanced manufacturing. And these are really high-tech, high-skilled areas. And some of these areas, some of these clusters that are growing are experiencing more trouble finding those skilled workers than others, but they're all struggling somewhat. And I think that there are a lot of opportunities for people all across the board, more than there have been in the recent past, but we really do need to look at what does our information technology cluster need, for example. They grew more than 55% in terms of job demand over the last 5 years, and that's huge.
And then do you then go in and help them find workers or train workers, or at what point do you become involved?
So what we do is try to identify where is that growth occurring, that really extensive growth. So I was talking about IT jobs in general, and if you start drilling down, there are lots of IT jobs. There's one type of job, it's software developers. It's something we've probably all heard about. Growth in that area grew 114%. So what we'll do is go in and say, okay, of software developers, what are the real technical skills that we need? And then we can provide that information to community colleges, and we can provide that information to workforce development agencies, which are our partners. Then they build the custom programs around it, and they invest in the training around that and make sure the employers have that need when they need it. We use real-time data to meet real-time job demand.
All right, it's stuff that actually makes real-time sense. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Much.
Today's Comcast Newsmaker was Lisa Katz, the Executive Director for the Workforce Intelligence Network.